Today, I will take you on a journey through the early days of the server and tell the story of Part 1 of the Dream SMP. Let's start from the beginning. Day 1 of the Dream SMP. A time before war, before nations, before death. A much simpler time than what we know today. A time of peace. On April 25th, Dream and George created what has grown into one of the most influential Minecraft servers ever. But to them, it was just a normal survival world. A few months prior, on February 5th, Minecraft released their first snapshot of 1.16, the Nether update. Because of Dream's focus on his channel, as well as his speedrunning grind that started shortly after, Dream had not had time to truly explore the new update. This world finally gave him a chance to do so. During their first stream, Dream and George intended just to play the game. No speedrunning, no Minecraft manhunt, just plain old survival. And that's exactly what they did. After making a portal, Dream and George explored the new biomes and structures added to the game. After a long journey through the Nether, the two decided to head back. After dying in the Nether, the two journeyed back to gather. They finally were able to find their stuff and escape. Yeah, they lost all their stuff. Later, they finally were able to explore the Bastion with no problems, and by the end of the stream, things were looking good. Soon after the beginning of the SMP, its first members other than Dream and George were added. These included Sapnap, the third member of the Dream team, as well as their close friends It's Alyssa and Awesome Dude. Over the next streams, the five were able to develop the world considerably. One of these projects included the centerpiece of the SMP and oldest building on the server, the Community House. Located in the middle of the lake, the Community House, as well as the paths branching off of it, still stands today as a hub for travel across the main server. A few other notable builds include the Community Nether Portal, which also remains a very important location today, and the Courthouse, which is pretty self-explanatory. The server was growing, and along with it, the player base grew too. Before long, two new members have been added to the server, Punk and Bad Boy Halo. Although Bad Boy Halo was a neutral force during the early days of the server, his presence would be felt much more later in the story. Punk, on the other hand, got to work right away building his first giant lemon tree. He also began trapping people's bases. He started this with George. In an act of revenge for the trap, George decided to burn down the entirety of Punk's lemon tree, prompting him to build another one farther down the path. But little did he know, this second tree, along with his careless actions of setting traps in people's bases, would drive the server to chaos, causing the first war. But before that happened, another player was added to the server. The most important addition yet. This player was Tommy Innit. Tommy Innit was an up-and-coming creator who knew how to start drama. After his channel saw early success from Hypixel Skyblock, he was invited to join the new creator server, SMP Earth. Holding over 60 creators, many with millions of subscribers, this was a huge opportunity for Tommy. And he did not hesitate to try to fight all of them. He entered the Dream SMP with the same goal. Coming off the recently ending SMP Earth, Tommy was ready for more fighting. And on his first day, he got straight to work. July 4th. After hours of streaming, Tommy gets a completely out of the blue message from Dream inviting him to the SMP. Joining without hesitation, Tommy immediately set out to do one thing: annoy everyone. He quickly became a problem, stealing from chests and killing George repeatedly. This resulted in him being taken to jail within about 20 minutes of joining the server. A record that stands to this day. After pulling an epic gamer move and escaping, he continued to destroy things. This resulted in Dream teleporting him far away from spawn, banishing him temporarily. However, Tommy was not going to let this stop him from annoying them. Coming back by dying, Dream kept having to teleport him. This went on for a few minutes before Tommy in it had become the first player to be banned on the server. One Twitter block later, and Tommy was back. This time, he would follow the rules. Well, kinda. After causing a bit more damage and claiming everything he could see as his property, Tommy decided to end his stream. His actions on the first day of the server would only be the beginning, as he would be streaming nearly every day on the SMP. 2 days later, the first war on the Dream SMP began. It all started when Tommy decided to build his house in a hill directly next to Punk's giant lemon tree. Tommy being Tommy, they almost immediately began fighting over land. This resulted in Punk killing Tommy and also trapping his house. Following the trolling of his house, Sapnap sought revenge, and he was able to get it by burning down most of Punk's lemon tree. Enraged by his actions, Punk teamed up with its Alyssa to get him back again. They then burned down his entire house. They had crossed the line. Sapnap knew he had to put an end to this, but he couldn't do it alone. Though it took some convincing, Sapnap was able to get Tommy on his side, and together, they would kill Punk and Alyssa. Until, in the middle of their fight, Dream logged on. After watching the server begin to spiral into chaos, Dream decided to step in and stop the fighting. But he quickly discovered he was very undergeared, and within seconds, Tommy and Sapnap had killed him as well. The fighting escalated once again, and soon nearly the entire server was involved in the conflict. Together, Sapnap and Tommy wiped out everyone standing in their way, even forcing Dream to log out temporarily. That was until something happened that turned the tides of the battle. Dream had stolen Tommy's most prized possessions on the server, his music discs. Because Tommy and Sapnap were allies, Sapnap decided to help Tommy steal the discs back from Dream. Dream then joined the call and told Tommy that because he had proven to be untrustworthy, he would not be getting his discs back. And if he decided to start any conflict again, the discs would be burned. While this was happening, Sapnap began looking for where Dream had hidden the discs. And a few minutes later, he found one. Running from Dream, who followed close behind, Sapnap passed the disc to Tommy, who then ran to his base, entered his mine, and hid the disc in a ravine. With Dream close behind, Tommy then faked hiding the disc in a completely different part of the ravine, distracting him long enough for Tommy to come up with a plan. The plan that would get his other music disc back from Dream and win him the first battle. But him and Sapnap couldn't do it alone. They needed someone else. And Tommy knew just the guy for the job. Joining just a few days after Tommy, Tubbo quickly established himself as a force of good. So when Tommy and Sapnap needed some backup, he knew Tubbo would be there. Together, the three of them plotted to take down Dream and take back Tommy's second disc. Tommy's plan was simple. Surround Dream and all three attack him with axes to do the maximum damage possible. As the fighting began, things were not looking good. After Sapnap was killed, it was all up to Tommy and Tubbo to finish the job. Tommy got a few good hits before falling to Dream, leaving it all up to Tubbo. And as Dream was retreating to heal, Tubbo chased him down, managing to kill him. and Tommy's most prized possessions were back in his hands. Sure, Tommy had won the battle, but the war was far from over. First major build was Purple's UFO. Lying fairly close to the community house in the same direction as Tommy's base, the UFO was one of the better looking builds for quite a while. And as development continued in the world, so did it in the battle for the discs. On July 10th, one day after his previous battle with Dream, Tommy logged on to the SMP, only to see that Dream had torn apart all of the land surrounding his base looking for the discs. And he found them. He was able to do this because when Tommy was hiding the discs off camera, he left his game sounds on. This allowed Dream to get an idea of where he had hidden them based on analyzing when he took fall damage and what blocks he mined before placing the chest. The discs had been lost once again, and this time, Dream would not let them back so easily. Tommy's first plan was to bargain with Dream, but that quickly went downhill when Tubbo pointed out that the only thing Tommy had of value was his netherite chestplate. After their genius idea of setting an ultimatum was shut down by Dream walking out of the building, Dream threatened to burn Tommy's discs if he didn't give him the netherite chestplate within 20 minutes. Him and Tubbo would try and portal trap Dream and kill him with beds. Why did they actually think that would work? He literally just said he doesn't have the discs in his inventory. This plan was absolutely foolproof. There was no way it wouldn't work. Okay. Knowing Dream knew their plan, Tommy and Tubbo were sure he had trapped the portal on the other side. Lucky for Tommy, he had ender pearls and was able to escape. Tubbo, on the other hand, was slain by Dream. And somehow, Tommy died as well. Their plan was not going too well. They had already both died and had made no more progress towards recovering the discs. They then met peacefully with Dream, who decided to give Tommy one last chance to trade his chestplate for the discs. Tommy convinced Dream to give him 10 more minutes to think about it, buying him time to think of another plan. This time, Tommy's plan was different. It was literally the exact same plan. After yet another failed negotiation, an opportunity arose for one of the discs to be stolen. Dream, after taking out both Tommy and Tubbo multiple times, was feeling very confident. Because of this, he decided it would be funny to taunt them by playing the disc. But Tommy and Tubbo were ready. Dream began to build a blockade next to the jukebox. But Tubbo managed to slip through, ejecting the disc from the jukebox and taking it. He ran for his life. But eventually Dream killed both of them and took it back again. In the words of Tommy, they had a glimpse at freedom. But the battle continued. Building higher and higher, Dream continued to taunt Tommy with his discs, holding them just out of reach. Until Dream was distracted by Tubbo, allowing Tommy to drop in from above and steal the disc back. Knowing it wouldn't be safe in the skies, Tommy dropped the disc down to Tubbo. However, Tubbo was not able to find it before Dream realized what happened and took back the disc once again. Twice now, the two had been incredibly close to victory, only to have the disc slip away at the last second. The fighting continued, but ultimately led nowhere. And so, Tommy and Tubbo decided to take the trade. Then, he remembered Tubbo, who had been by his side the entire time. They both knew exactly what to do. As Dream dropped the discs, and Tommy dropped the chestplate, Tubbo made a break for the discs. By the time Dream realized what was happening, it was too late. Tubbo had grabbed both of the discs and logged out. It was a race for the chestplate. But Tommy won, managing to disconnect after picking it up. Dream had not dropped the real discs. The ones he traded were fakes.